excited about this one because I've never seen foils on a ceramic piece. And so we're going to attempt to do it on this one. It is not glazed on the outside. So it, in my head, is going to work.
I think it's going to work.
Because it's a little porous because there's no glaze on it.
Yeah. No, it should definitely work. So I think that's going to be really cool. And then we're just going to, we decided we're going to do this ring across the bottom. We're going to leave your name. Oh, perfect. Okay. We're going to try really hard to just paint a perfect line in there. Let's see if one of us can do it. And then because we've got texture here and we have the recessed areas that are like that charcoal gray, we're just going to use the pouncer and just pounce on the foil adhesive. That way it's only on the high areas and doesn't even go into the low areas. We'll let that set up and then we're going to transfer this beautiful...
Is this called King Tut? Because I feel like it should be.
Yeah, now that I pulled it out and I'm looking at it, yeah, I'm having a brain fart and I can't even think of the name of it. But I think it's Empire Gold. Okay, we'll double check.
Okay, so we're gonna try to get a clean line on the inside of here. So we're gonna be using an angle brush for that.
Yes.
But everything else we're gonna use a pouncer. And I'm glad you mentioned these foam brushes to pounce it on because I would have just tried to dry brush it and not get in there. And I'm so sure that I would 1,000% get in there.
For two things, the reason why I want to stay away from a brush is it's going to be super easy to get the brush down into the low parts because your brush just wants to go where your brush wants to go. Okay, it's just going to go over that area and it's going to feather in. And if you use a pouncer, anytime I work on something that has dimension to it, I'm only looking for it to go on the high part of the dimension and not into the lower. Foam pouncers or even just a regular foam brush. But also if you did try to brush this on with a dry brush technique, you'd probably never put enough material on there and you wouldn't get a great release.
Sure.
So that's where I was really going with that. Yeah, my brain went the other direction, but hey, I think I got it all out.
I think you said everything that I was going to ask on with regards to that. Okay, so do we have to have any special kind of adhesive? Is the adhesive the same as like just putting it on a canvas or wood?
Yes, so we're still going to work with our Artesiville foil adhesive, and this stuff is great for really anything other than a washable fabric project.
I was going to ask about doing it on denim or like leather. Do you need something leather specific? Or
if it's leather or pleather, I'll still use our regular Artesiville, but if it is you know, like a t-shirt like I'm wearing that I'm going to throw through the washer, we actually have 3 different adhesives to choose from. So those are all designed to go through the washer.
Okay.
And they'll go through the washer, but I try to keep everything out of the dryer, okay? And then you just have to also make sure that you're using a fabric-friendly foil because not all of our foils are textile-friendly.
Okay, so you probably have like an area on your website that's like, if you're going to put it on clothes, use this tab of things.
Yes, so there is a, if you go like scroll down this one page that has all the foils on it, there's 2 boxes at the bottom. One says non-textile friendly and the other one is textile friendly foils. But even if you're just going through like foil by foil, like say you really have a lot of time on your hands and you want to scroll through all 500 of them.
I've done that.
When you get to the page, so you actually click on that foil and you can see all the different pictures that we've created. There are 3 boxes at the bottom of that page, and one's going to tell you our recommended base coat color to go under that foil. So we're going to give you recommendations. We're going to tell you if it's textile friendly or not. And then also the 3rd box, I think, kind of tells you what kind of release it is. So is it a super easy release? Is it a delicate release? Is it a regular release? Just to kind of give you an idea.
Oh, where you're working. That's smart.
And I mean, that information I think is great for a lot of people on just trying to determine if they're ordering what they really want to work with.
Sure. I actually found out as a full-grown adult that textiles is the same as fabrics. So in case anybody out there did not know that, like me, textiles equals wearables.
Wearables, yes.
All right.
Okay, time to... Okay, so we're going to get out some more foil adhesive. And I've taught you what I use for what I call the sticky plate, okay? And I'm going to make you do this part. I'm going to make you try to cut that nice, clean, perfect, straight line. Ha. So I'm only going to use one. I'm only going to get one brush dirty here instead of getting two, because we both can't do this together.
Feel the pressure.
Ooh, sorry. But so I like to take the foil adhesive out of the container. This is just giving us a place where we can control picking up on the brush.
Sure.
So that you don't like just dunk it. I always feel like I have better control if I got something flat to work off of. And then you also can get your lid back on and keep your product fresh without it getting dried out. Because if you keep your lid off, I feel like by the time I'm to the bottom of the container, it's gotten really thick. So if by chance you do have adhesive that has thickened up with years, okay, some people have their foil adhesive for years. I whip through mine so quick that I'm always running out. So my jars are always fresh, but when I do go out of a gallon jug, by the time I am to the bottom of the gallon, it's normally a lot thicker. So you can add a tiny bit of water. And when I say tiny, I'm talking 1-2%. And if you really need your brush strokes to level out even a little bit more, try a little bit of Floetrol. And that's just the Floetrol that you can pick up at Home Depot or wherever.
Doesn't have to be Australian Floetrol.
No.
You're not trying to make any fancy design elements in there.
No, nothing fancy, just good old Floetrol from Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. And again, keep your percentages really low, because you do not want to take away the tack that the product has, because you don't want to compromise that, because if you don't have any foil adhesive and it doesn't dry to a firm tack, you're not going to have a transfer.
Sure, that makes sense.
So Erica's over here having fun doing the hard part.
Trying my best. I'm so nervous about messing this up. I want it to be a nice edge.
And then also, you don't want to put it on super frugal, okay? I always say that if you don't have any adhesive, you don't have any transfer.
Right. So am I using a little bit too little because we can't really see it?
Well, we're also on a porous material. So on anything porous, it can soak in a little bit. So yeah, you want to probably just make sure you have a good coverage. You do see that it's on the sticky plate here looking milky white. And then as it dries, it will go clear.
Right.
But sometimes when you're on a light surface like we are right now, it's hard to see that it's looking milky white, but it does still have a little bit of a milky white, but it dries clear and shiny, which we'll definitely be able to see on this project because everything is real matte looking.
Yeah.
So you'll know if you missed an area, because I always try to go back and kind of critique when it's dry and just make sure that I didn't miss an area. Sometimes when I'm talking,
yes,
especially on a live, you know, and you're looking at comments or something, it's like, oh, I got to do the foil transfer. I'm like, well, guess what?
So what happened was I talked too much.
I talked too much.
Now we have a situation.
But then again, it's always a learning experience. So then I can have the moment of like, okay, if this happens to you, then here's how you fix it. I mean, if you find that you're at that point of transferring the foil and nothing's adhering, you go and touch it and you go, oh, well, it doesn't feel sticky at all, then you just know you missed.
Right.
But you can always go back and brush into that area and just repair it. If the pattern is super... it has a very distinctive pattern, then you've got to really kind of watch matching up the design. But so many of them are so open and, you know, free that you just don't even have to worry about it half the
Stress-free
Yeah,
design.
stress-free. We like stress-free.
Maybe I'll start carrying sticky plates in my shop.
You're going to need them.
Right?
These are great. So now we're going to transfer to using the pouncer or spouncer, or isn't it technically a spouncer?
I have never heard the term spouncer.
Okay. I don't know. I think someplace in my years of doing these, they were called a spouncer instead of a pouncer. I don't know why. But again, I like the fact that we're on something flat like this, because you can pick up and work a little bit of adhesive in there and even pounce off a little bit so that you don't have so much. You don't want to go into here and then go to your project and have it super heavy.
Right.
So this kind of controls that you can pounce some of it off, and then that's how you're going to pounce onto the surface. So you can use this one. I'm just going to let her work. I'm just going to sit here and tell you guys how to do it.
It's going to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay.
But no matter if you've got some kind of detail like this where there's dimension into the design, or even when I'm doing like wood cutouts and it's a word cutout, or I cut it out of MDF and you don't want the product on the sides, you want it to stay just on the top surface, pouncing on the foil adhesive, I have found, has been a great technique.
And it doesn't leave this little orange peel texture.
You're going to get a little bit of texture, but it's also going to be super consistent.
Right.
So instead of having brush stroke, you might have a little bit of texture. Now, if I'm pouncing it on it, it seems like it's got a lot of stipple texture to it. I'll just pounce over that area again and just try to soften the texture.
Can you just put a mist water directly over this and then repound? Would that smooth it down? I don't know.
That might make it run.
Oh, yeah.
So I would avoid that technique. I think you're just better off, like, even if you grabbed a dry one and you went back over and pounced over the top of it, you can even see on the surface here that now look how smooth that texture is compared to that texture.
Right.
So you can even come back with a dry one and do that. But we're going to give Erica just a little bit more adhesive because she's running out.
I am. I can actually vaguely see where I've been based on that shine like we were talking about. So that's where it was, and this is where it isn't.
Oh yeah, and especially as it starts to dry down, because that bowl has a very matte finish on it right now. So it should be easy to critique and see where you have and haven't finished.
Right. Anytime there's a glossy and a matte juxtaposition, it's easy to tell.
Oh, so much easier. I think the only time that's super hard to see the foil adhesive is when I pick a white base project, okay? And then it's like, okay, this is not good because you cannot see what I'm doing. So that's actually even a good point, is because Erica had asked me earlier, can you put a little tint in the adhesive? Which you can, but you want to tint it with something that's water-based and just add a tiny bit of pigment. But that will definitely help you to be able to see where it is.
Yeah, I usually pick up, if I'm using a gold, then I'll pick up, I think I'm all the way around.
Are you all the way around? Okay.
Then I'll pick up and some like a red watercolor or an ink, like India ink, and put like less than a quarter of a drop in there.
Yeah, it won't take much to color it.
Just to give it a little bit of pink hue, which is going to be covered by opaque foils anyways. Got that tack. And there's no cloudiness. From my own trial and error, I realized that if there's like any like white bits, it's not dry enough.
Yeah, just gotta be patient. But you should have a nice firm tack that you put your finger on that, and your finger should feel like it's kind of stuck. But when you pull it away, there's nothing on your fingers clean. So it's a firm tack, but not sticky. Because if it was sticky, it'd be coming off on us.
Right. What if, so I've done it before and tested it, and the sticky released onto my finger.
It wasn't dry.
Problem solved.
Or it's not bonding to whatever you're putting it on.
Got it.
So there are sometimes, reasons why it could come off on you. That means it's just not adhering to the surface, or if it's really sticky and makes your finger tacky feeling, then it's just not dry.
Got it. Is it harder to do, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Is it harder to apply foils on dimensional things versus flat?
Oh yes, definitely trickier. So picking a pattern that doesn't have a super distinctive repeat to it is helpful. Also, we're really working on very minimum surface area because we're only doing the flat high.
Right.
So it's going to crinkle, it's going to wrinkle, it's going to look like this is just going to be horrible looking, but in the end, it will all come out okay.
Sure. Is
So-
this one that you would pre-crinkle, or do you?
You can. Empire Gold isn't too delicate. So even crinkling like that, it now helps the foil to lay flatter. It's some of the pattern.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it is going to be where I cut strips, thinking this will just kind of be easier to kind of get it on the side and work it around as far as it goes. Kind of getting it around this edge here. And then you can push it in as well.
Right.
And then
So-
we're just going to transfer as much as that.
Do we go all the way to the edge of this?
We can leave a little bit of a rough edge, but again, our surface area is so tiny that if we do get a straighter release, it's not going to be as obvious as it would be on a big counter.
Okay.
But you can keep like this section up where you're not really pushing all the way down that hard edge and getting that line there.
I get
You're
that.
better off to have like a imperfect edge where it's going to blend into that easier.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to let you use my little scrub brush and a toothbrush. Okay, a toothbrush comes in handy at this point because you have such a small area that you're working on that when I get to my smaller detailed areas, I just grab the toothbrush from Dollar Tree, and you can see I gave this one a haircut.
Oh, you did.
Because even though it was firm, it wasn't firm enough. And I do scrub so hard that my bristles have started like bending.
Whoops. Well, it's been effective because everything you make is so nice.
I got good scrubbing muscles, okay? There are times where, I mean, I can rub it with my hand and get a decent release. And there's times where I'm going to scrub with all my might to try
Right.
to get the release I'm looking for.
I almost wish I painted it in black.
You definitely can with this particular foil. It will always release gorgeous over black. So if you'd gone to the website and looked up this foil, it would tell you that my recommended base coat was black.
Ow.
Because the pattern has black in it. So basically when we talk about recommended base coat, it's based on the whole thing that your foil is probably not going to release 100%. So with thinking about that, and if the pattern has a little bit of black in it, if it was released over black, if some of that black peeks through, you're never going to know.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
going to hide imperfections. So you can start pulling back and just get an idea of what it looks like. And do you need to scrub more? You probably need to scrub more. So this is when you can kind of get after it with the toothbrush.
That's the area that I did not all the way engage.
So sometimes even holding it in your hands so you can kind of isolate where you're working and get aggressive.
Oh, yeah, that looks a lot better.
Then see, we even got the foil, even pouncing, it went further in those openings than I thought we were going to go. I was trying to keep it all on the high point for you.
Well, that's okay because then it's covering the white. Because it was white.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Look
that
at
looks so
that.
nice.
That is going to be so awesome. Okay, I'll keep letting you scrub because sometimes you don't understand what somebody is doing that's making it more challenging, but I feel like something this small, holding on to it where I've just got the resistance of my hand, even though it's a hard surface, I think it's just a little bit easier to hold on to it.
Sure. Agreed.
Oh my, that is gorgeous.
These foils just like add a little extra pizzazz, it seems.
Well, and to paint a finish that looks like that and try to create the detail that's in that foil, again, you'd be taking a long
Doable.
time. Yeah, it'd be doable, but it would just take a lot longer. Okay, I got a fresh piece for you.
Just have to show off in the meantime.
But look how cool this is too, the leftover foil. It has the negative left behind.
So I could, in theory, just transfer just those bits onto something else.
You can, but I'll tell you that everything that's here, so even the areas that the the element's not there, but there's still a little bit of foil in between, like everything might transfer. So you won't get like a perfectly clean pattern of that.
Right.
You'd still get the little crumbs or pieces and bits that didn't.
I have an unorthodox question. For ones like this that don't come off super easy, would it be absolutely ridiculous for me to get like a sticky pen, like a Deco Art pen, like that's really light bodied adhesive, and just like put the adhesive directly on this? That way I could just get that bit and transfer it off.
Oh, you could try that. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, because if you got an adhesive pen, then I would definitely go for that. So just fill in your negative space.
That, or
scrub.
I could just water down some of the APS.
But yeah, you could paint it exactly where you wanted it to release. Let that pack up, and that should. I've never tried that, but that's a great idea.
Outside of the box.
Outside of the box. Tinier brushes, okay?
Tiny brushes, tinier brushes.
Tiny brushes.
If I had to get out aggression, I feel like
This is a great
this is a
thing
good one.
to do.
Because I don't feel like I'm doing dishes. I'm just
Scrubbing. You sometimes just need to scrub out that aggression. You can have
Sometimes.
a hard day, and it's like, oh. I think it's just satisfying.
it is. It's like Christmas morning every time we go to peel off.
That for sure. Because like I said, it's just my favorite part. It's like it's released. It's made that project just step up a notch, give it a little bit more detail, a little bit more pizzazz, and it's just fun to see it all come together.
1000% agree. Would you have a recommendation on a good sealant?
The top coats that we recommend are all water-based, and I'm going to say most water-based top coats will work. We definitely have 3 on our website that are tried and true and will not create an issue. You want to stay away from ones that are super strong or solvent based because they can possibly lift the foil.
Okay.
So with this project here, okay, other than the 3 we have on our website, the other one I will use is Rust-Oleum 2X Clear.
Just an aerosol?
Yeah, just a spray can. And that tends to work really good, especially when I'm working on like tumblers and I'm covering layers of, glitter, or I just want to spray it really quick before I put epoxy on, because if the foil adhesive is exposed too much, where you just didn't get great coverage, but there's still some sticky left behind, epoxy can repel over it. Just a
Okay.
little bit, but I sometimes will try to make sure I clear it first before I do pour epoxy.
That makes sense.
Oh, I'm in love with that. That is great.
How fun is that? I'm going to clean up this top edge. But I think that looks so fun.
Well, the top edge already has some glaze, so you could probably just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on that edge and clean it up with not much work at all. Beautiful.
I love it. That's so much nicer than just solid colored gold leaf.
Oh, that's so pretty.
That extra little.
Extra little detail. I mean, it doesn't have a lot, but there's just enough that it just creates a little bit more texture, and very pretty. So this little area here, you might just have missed it, okay, because I really don't feel anything. So you could just brush in a little bit of foil adhesive, just pounce it there. Even if it overlapped, it's never going to take away from it.
Right.
And it
That
could just
or
be because
alcohol.
it's on top of the glaze, okay?
It is.
Where it doesn't want to stick as much on the glaze, so you can just kind of rub that off.
If we would have sanded it, it would have been a different
Yeah.
thing. But I'm fine with some of the white kind of overlapping.
Oh no, I think that'll be cool.
Since this adhesive is still a little bit wet and the glaze is not porous, it's letting me just kind of
Roll it off.
roll it off. Now, if I would have sanded the glaze and gave it like a little bit of a tooth,
Yes.
it would have done something
Sanded
different.
it, cleaned it, and then left the adhesive on there a whole lot longer before we went forward. We were maybe 30 minutes
Yeah.
at best, okay?
There. Now it has a rollover glaze lid. Nope. Top.
Very pretty.
I
That
love
looks
it.
good.
I love it. Thank you so much for helping me to. So I've used a lot of your foils before, but not really with the best practices because I'm impatient.
I think most people are. I think most crafters and artists and creatives, there's not a lot of patience and waiting
Right.
for things. So I encourage people to work on several things at one time so
Mhm.
that you can put a layer on and you can just push it aside and let it dry.
For sure. So, do you have any new foils coming out? Do you have any sales coming up? Do you have any specials?
I always say get on our email list where people can definitely check us out. Our emails are normally where we're going to let people know what's going on.
I get a lot of texts from you when you go live on Facebook.
I do. I try to text. My people are really mad at me if I don't text when I'm going live.
Fair.
So you can also get onto our texting list as well. But we've had 3 new foils come out over the last 3 weeks.
That's a
And
lot.
we probably will have some new ones coming out in the next couple of months.
It's so exciting. I want to do more stuff.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming and collabing with me today. Spending time with me is amazing. I know you're going to have so much fun tonight at the baseball game.
Yes, we are. Go A's, sorry.
Anyways.
I know.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Jen, for arting with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful one. And until next time, be kind to one another because you never know what someone's going through. Bye.
Bye.